Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy RJ Elite. You already know what it is. So, got a new little series that I'm doing right now. I'm doing everything for real. I know I've said it before, but we're doing everything. But anyway, it's gonna be called A Noob's Perspective. You know us, you know we're nerds. So, I am a noob when it comes to anime. We all know Lady Akane is the anime guru around here. I'm going to be doing some of the older animes, doing reviews on them, and you know, some of the newer ones too, but I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to become an anime guru myself. So I know you guys have already seen them. You know some of your favorite animes, you know how you feel about them, but I'm going to go through them with fresh eyes. I can give my perspective on what I think about the series. So especially for like the longer ones, what we'll do is I'm probably going to break it down by season. If the shorter ones that are like 26 episodes or whatever, we can do that, knock it out, and then I'll give you the whole perspective on the anime I can't even talk today, in an entirety. But the shorter ones, the longer ones we will break down by season. So I decided to start with Lady Akane's favorite anime, Bleach. After watching the first season, which was 20 episodes, I'm sitting here kicking myself because I'm like, what took me so long to watch this series? I don't understand what took me so long to watch the series, to be honest with you. I should have been started watching it. Bleach is freaking amazing so far, and the type of animes that I like to watch should have action with a story that I can dive deep into, and so far it's doing that. Like, every anime usually has a little bit of filler, but so far this has been right on script with story. Now I don't know if it'll be filler in the future, but right now I'm happy because I hate filler. So let's dive deep into this analysis really quick. So first of all, let's talk about Ichigo. Well, let's start at the beginning. For some of you that don't know what Bleach is, definitely check it out for yourself. But Bleach basically is anime that focuses around the main character Ichigo, and he's just a normal 15-year-old high school student. But he can see spirits. He has this spirit energy that allows him to see spirits, ghosts, dead people, whatever you want to say. So he can see these things, and then one day his family gets attacked and it changes his life forever, basically. Well, I'm not going to spoil too much for you. You can watch it for yourself. As far as that's all I really know right now. I mean, that's the basis of the story that I can tell you. So let's talk about Ichigo's character development really quick. So from episode 1 until episode 20, he kind of does a shift in his character. He basically, when he first starts out, he's pretty much a loner. He has friends, but he doesn't really, acknowledge, for lack of a better word, certain people. They always clown him in class of being the kid with the spiky orange or orange hair, and that he always has a frown on his face. So he's just a basic teenager living that life, trying to find themselves, trying to discover themselves in this stage in his life. You see his development really take place in between his feelings for Rukia, and then as far as when it goes a little bit further on him first, when he started doing being a soul reaper, that at first he was doing it more so to protect his family, but then he didn't want to see any other innocent people get hurt. So he went ahead and embraced the role of a soul reaper, even though he still kind of was like, do we have to do this today? But he knew that if he took a day off, that people would get hurt, innocent people would get hurt. So he changed his perspective on things, and you start seeing the little tweaks in his character development. He still has that arrogant attitude that he can just beat somebody in 5 minutes, or without really charging into battle, without really knowing tactics and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how far his character will go with him being the main character. Sometimes the main character isn't the one that has the most change in story arc and character. It's usually the sub character, or just somebody, that underlying character that people don't pay attention to in the beginning, and then by the end it's their favorite character. Vegeta. Let's talk about Rukia for a little bit. So Rukia, when she's first introduced, she's a Soul Reaper. She's amazed that Ichigo can see her, because she doesn't know that any normal human could just see spirits like that. But she's like she's like a hardened character in the beginning, and she thinks Ichigo pretty much is a buffoon, you know, and that humans just should stay out of everything. Unfortunately, in that battle, with him trying to protect his family, she gets hurt. She pretty much sacrifices herself so that he doesn't die, and then she has to give her powers over to Ichigo. So, you know, in the beginning you see her kind of struggling with the fact that she had to do that because, you know, she's a member of the Soul Society. So it's like she knows that doing this is a serious crime in the Soul Society. So I'm pretty sure in the back of her mind she's sitting here thinking that they could come for her at any minute to come punish her, execute her, whatever the case may be. But she starts to grow. Ichigo starts to grow on her pretty much. They become friends. The question always comes up and pops up, rather the fact that does she like Ichigo? Is she in love with Ichigo when she's going about her day to day? After she gave her powers, she kept the form that she was in, and she started going to school with Ichigo, and they pretty much, you know, she kind of just fit in. There's just this new character that came into school, like they just picture her as a transfer student or whatever like that, and you know, she was just like living a day-to-day 15-year-old teenager in high school. But you see them start to grow close in the first season, which is, you know, it's kind of fast, but like I said, I don't know how far. Like Bleach has 15 seasons, so it could get deeper. They could actually fall in love. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of episode 20. They really care for each other, which even by the end of episode, I think it was 19 or 18 or 18. At the end of episode 18, she actually sacrificed herself again so he wouldn't get killed by the Soul Society. But we'll touch on that a little bit in a second. So next, Chad's development. So Chad is just this gargantuan. You know, we have one in society, in every group, and everybody knows one. Somebody that has a serious growth spur, but they're a sweetheart. So Chad is this big gargantuan guy. He's 15, and he wouldn't harm a fly. And him and Ichigo have been friends for a little bit after Ichigo got in a fight and Chad saved him. But Chad didn't really fight. He just took the punishment, just sat there and just took a beating for Ichigo. But he's just the awkward teenager that's tall. And nobody really makes fun of him because they're pretty much scared of him because he's of his size. You know, he's got this power and this strength that he could use at an instant, but he just doesn't. And he's kind of smart too. Chad's development, he turned from, and it was in bits and pieces just because Chad's one of the sub characters that I was talking about that's not really featured in the main story so far. He's just, like I say, a sub character. Chad basically went from that guy to understanding that it's okay to protect your loved ones if they're in danger. There was an episode that Chad was pretty much featured in where it was this spirit that was trapped inside of I think it was a cockatoo, and he was protecting it. And of course Chad was a normal human. He couldn't really see spirits and stuff at first. After he was attacked by one of the hollows, he began to see his spirit energy begin to awaken, so he could start seeing the aura and stuff around them. But he could sense it at first. In this episode, he could sense it, and he was helping Rukia battle the hollow that was attacking. But he was protecting that bird, and then in another episode, after that fight, he could start seeing the aura around them, but he still couldn't see them clearly. And Ichigo's sister happened to be in the park, and she was getting attacked by one, and he started protecting Ichigo's sister. And he was getting his butt handed to him from the hollow. But what ended up happening is he just started thinking about, I think it was his grandfather or grandmother or somebody like that was telling him about protecting himself or protecting others and stuff like that. So he started thinking about it. So he awoken his, I don't know what you would call it right now, but his strength his inner strength, but it was like superpower strength that he could do. So he protected Rukia from the Hollow and defeated the Hollow. Not Rukia, sorry, Ichigo's sister, and defeated the Hollow. And he realized that, you know, he had these special powers as well. But, you know, Chad is still Chad. He still has that little awkward sense to him or whatever. So like I said, he's a sub character, but I'm interested in seeing how Chad's character develops as well. Next up we have Orihime. My first impression of Orihime was I thought she was going to be like the crush of Ichigo. But she's a sweet girl. She can't cook, but she's really sweet. She also is playing a sub character now in it that has powers. And the way that she got hers, the night that her brother ended up turning into a hollow, which we'll dive into the hollows in a second. Her brother ended up turning into a hollow and attacked her and attacked the girl because he was upset. He was upset that he thought that she had forgot about him and moved on and started hanging out with a friend more, because he said after he first died and he was a spirit before he turned into a hollow, she would pray for him every night before she went to bed, or just pray for him in general. And then it started happening less and less and less as she started hanging out with his friends. So he was pretty angry and decided to attack her, and he wanted to take her spirit away so she could be with him forever. But Ichigo ended up saving him. So if you noticed with those two, at least with Chad and Orihime, after they've come into contact with hollows and spirits and all that type of stuff like that, is when they started being able to see. So their spirit energy started to awaken. So even Orihime started realizing that she could sense a presence following her, or she could just sense presences around her and stuff like that. So she had a couple episodes where she wasn't even like, you know, they didn't even touch bases on that. It was just like Orihime and then her friends, and then that was it. Alright, so let's talk about the hollows. So let's talk about the subject. So a hollow basically is a spirit that spirit can become a hollow in two ways. Either by their chain link being broken from, and spirits that don't pass on either they're filled with regret, or they feel like they're evil or whatever. They haven't passed on, so they stick around. So after a while, the bitterness and stuff gets to them, and they become a hollow. That's one way. Second way they become a spirit become a hollow, is if a hollow devours them, and they can become a hollow that way as well. So basically, there's these dark creatures. Just think of them kind of like as demons, I guess you can say. They have these masks on. They have these big bodies. Most of them, they don't all look the same, but their forms are kind of the same. They have these big, gigantic hands. It's just like this black cloak around them. Some of them look different. Some of them have different colors and all type of stuff like that. But their main goal is just to feast on spirits, attack humans and take their spirits and feast on that too. So that's their main goal. Now the only way you can cleanse a hollow and have them pass on is what the Soul Society does. Everybody's welcome at the Soul Society, except you have to get out of that form first. But that's basically the main villains right now in the story are the hollows. Let's talk about Uryu. Uryu is an interesting character, which I feel like, I don't know how deaths and stuff work in this. If he stays alive throughout the whole thing, in the end, I feel like him and Ichigo will probably be best friends. I first got known about Uryu when Lady Akane told me, because you all know I wear glasses. So I used to adjust my glasses like this all the time. And I still do, push them up like that, which he does that constantly. And she told me, that was the first time she told me, she was like, she chuckled, and I was like, what are you laughing at? She was like, you remind me of somebody from Bleach named Uryu. And I was like, because he adjusts his glasses like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just shrugged it off because I didn't know what she was talking about. But now I do, and it's just crazy. But Uryu basically, so he is a Quincy. Now let's talk about that really quick before I get more into Uryu, so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. So a Quincy is separate from the Soul Reapers. So to sum it up for you without having to go through the entire story, basically there were two beings. There was Soul Reapers, there was Quincy's. Soul Reapers basically, they stand for extracting or making souls pass on from being a hollow by not killing them, not obliterating them, but making sure that the spirits actually pass on, because they believe there's good in everybody. So basically they help them pass on. Quincy's thought that all hollows should be destroyed no matter what. So they had disagreements, because both of them used to work together, but they had disagreements on what would happen. So the Soul Reapers, the Soul Society, basically wiped out all of the Quincy's. They killed them all. They killed them all off, because they was like, this is not going to balance well, because if they continue to just obliterate hollows without helping them pass on and giving judgment, they're just passing judgment on them just like that without forgiveness, that it could lead to an apocalypse, the end of the world. Something to shift the balance could have happened. We'll probably know more. We'll probably find out more about that later on in the story, but that's basically the premise of that. But back to Uryu. Uryu is the last Quincy on Earth, and they have special powers. Like, he shoots beams. He has like these arrows, bow and arrow, but it's like beams of light that fly out and stuff like that as well. So Uryu is the smartest kid in class. He is, one of his hobbies is sewing. I'm not laughing because it's weird. I'm laughing because it's ironic, because I asked Lady Kane at the same time. I was like, so is that really why you like sewing? She was like, no. He's an expert. Would you still say it's seamstress? Because I feel like that's I don't know. I don't think it's seamer. You know what I mean. But he's good with that. And he already knew that Ichigo was a Soul Reaper, because they can sense these things, and he had a higher level of spirit energy that he could sense better than Ichigo. He knew when hollows will pop up. So when he got first introduced, Rukia has a hollow beeper where it goes off whenever a hollow is around an attack. So it was going off, and then it would go it go silent. So she kept dragging him out of class, dragging Ichigo out of class, because they would go to find the hollow and it would be gone already. So they kept thinking it was false alarms and that it was faulty equipment. Well, come to find out, it was literally Uryu that was going around and destroying them quickly like that. So of course, just like Goku and Vegeta, they met. They found out about each other. Uryu issued Ichigo a challenge to whoever could destroy the most hollows in that given time. 24 hours, I believe, would be the winner or whatever. So it was more of a machismo type thing. Uryu's story dives deeper into it itself. He had a sensei that was killed because, and this is the reason why he hates Soul Reapers. He had a sensei that was a Quincy as well, but he was killed by hollows, and the Soul Society knew about the hollows attack, but they didn't lift a finger to help. So he felt like his sensei died a pointless death, because it could have easily been averted if the Soul Society would have just helped. So that's the reason why he hates all Soul Reapers, because his sensei really wanted the Quincy's and the Soul Society to work together again. That was his main goal. So I'm pretty sure emotions and stuff will come touch down on place, and he will end up actually befriending Ichigo, and they will end up really working together. In a nutshell, like I said, it's exciting. I'm sitting here staying up late to watch Bleach almost every day. I am hooked. So I should have season 2 analysis ready for you sooner or later, because I know I'm probably going to fly through season 2 just like I flew through season 1. But I hope you guys like this series. I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I wanted to do the first anime I've ever seen, which was Ronin Warriors or Samurai Troopers. It's the same thing. I may put that on the back burner because I kind of want to go old new. But what I will probably do, and I don't want it to get confusing, but before season 2 for Bleach comes out, I may try to do something else. Maybe Attack on Titan, maybe My Hero Academia, something of that nature. I'm not going to do Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball is just, everybody identifies with Dragon Ball. Thank you for taking the time to watch this episode. As always, like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Thank you for watching. As always, keep God first, and I will see you next time, people.